inspiration. Coming through the workers' blood shall run. There can be no power greater anywhere beneath the sun. Yet what force on earth is weaker than the feeble strength of one? But the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. They have taken millions from us that they never taught to earn. But without our brains and muscles, not a single wheel would turn. We can break their haughty power, get our freedom while we learn that the union makes us strong. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong.
In our hands is placed the power, greater than the mighty gold, greater than the might of armies, magnified 1,000-fold. We can bring to birth a new world, from the ashes of the old. The union makes us strong.
Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. Solidarity forever. For the union makes us strong. For the union makes us strong. For the union makes us strong. For the
Let's hear it for the UAW Region 1 Amen Choir. Solidarity forever. We appreciate them. Thank you very much. At this time, we're going to ask Brother Kevin Tober to come, representing UAW 4 with Jimmy Settles, who would be here, but he could not be here. But Kevin has been a real trooper helping to put this together, working with Jimmy and UAW. So we're going to ask Kevin to come and to speak for Jimmy and to bring greetings, and he's going to introduce the guests from 4. Kevin Tober. Give him a hand. Kevin Tober.
Thank you, Reverend Anthony. Again, my name is Kevin Tober, Administrative Assistant to Vice President of UAW and Chairman of the 2013 March, Jimmy Settles. Jimmy had to return home, like they said earlier, due to health reasons, and against doctor's orders, he joined us anyway. As his representatives at these events over the last few days, I think it's important I say a couple things about him. One, there's no other place he'd rather be than right here at this moment. The last few days are representative of his passion, his energy, and his main focus over the last few months. In the early days of planning this march, Jimmy was adamant about his desire to be transparent, his dedication to have integrity in the process, and his respect for history. You'll never find a prouder Detroiter, a stronger voice for labor, or a better friend than Jimmy Settles. Many of the young people here today are like me. No physical connection to the civil rights movement. Our only connection is through those who lived in it, walked in it, and breathed through it. Those who are committed to it, those who suffered through it, and in my case, my connection is largely through leaders like Jimmy Settles and my family. Jimmy remembered the march and educates many of us, future leaders, about what happened some 50 years ago. He talks about the times when many people were told not to participate in the march, when his dad, a labor leader himself, brought him, but yet left his sister at home. He often jokes that he asked his father, "Wait a minute, you didn't love me?" But Jimmy is a tireless advocate of young people. His charitable activities that he's touched young people at King High School, Nichols Elementary and Middle School, Cass Tech High School, McMichael, Inkster, Taylor Little League, Eagle Sports Charities, and many, many more. I just want to say that Jimmy wanted me to thank you all who came, who showed up, who showed out and made Detroit look good in a really important way. So, again, Reverend Anthony has been a great partner for Jimmy during this, and really, just one more time, I'd like us to give him a round of applause. labor has been a strong voice throughout the civil rights history. And we look back through the UAW's history and we find in 1963, the UAW had spent over $160,000 on civil rights activities. Half was spent in bailing out some of the Birmingham school children in March of 1963 from jail. And it was that march that many said helped break the back of Jim Crow in the South. But it was the money that the labor leaders up here were able to support to help bail out those kids and send them right back out there again. You know, again, and then afterwards, we were able to support the march with Martin Luther King having an office right down the street at Solidarity House and making it happen. So it was through labor and our partnerships and working together that we were able to pull off this march. At this time, I'd like to introduce our partner in Ford Motor Company, Frederick Toney. Frederick Toney is the Global Ford Customer Service Division and Corporate Vice President since 2009. And in 2012 was named the Black Enterprise, named as one of the 100 most powerful corporate executives in the world. Frederick.
Hello, everybody. Listen, I want you all to know that when we were asked to participate, we participated cheerfully as a company to support this wonderful event. And I'm just so proud and honored to be here representing Ford, but most of all representing what this dream was about. I'm a guy from Huntsville, Alabama, and I was a kid when the movement started. Now here I stand today, a corporate officer in a top 10 Fortune company. You tell me that somebody didn't get this started. And I want you all to know that it is important that a group of leaders came together in a focused way. They were determined, they persevered. And you know what? We must stay together. Because it's about being focused, it's about continuing, which is staying together. But you know where the victory comes? The victory comes in working together. Now everybody around here is part of an organization, and everyone who's spoken today is part of this community. And I want to say to you, the more we work together, the more we stay in one accord, the more we can help deliver the dream. Thank you.
Thank you, Frederick Toney. At this time, we would like to bring up Sasha Ruther. Sasha Ruther is the great-nephew of Walter Ruther, former president of UAW, supporter and leader of this march in 1963. Sasha, give him a hand, please. Give him a hand.
Thank you very much. First, I have to give a heartfelt thank you to the UAW and the NAACP and the other organizers of this march for having me here today. I am the great-nephew of Walter Ruther, and I'm honored to represent the Ruther family here and to share this stage with such incredible dignitaries. I am a filmmaker in New York City, and I recently finished a documentary about my family history called Brothers on the Line, which traces their social justice crusade under the banner of the UAW. And I've had the opportunity to travel the country with this film, all over the country. And we're very thankful for a great response, but I began to realize how little my generation knows about this important American history. How little they know about labor's accomplishments, about the coalition between unions and the civil rights movement, and building the middle class. And my feelings were, how in this current economic crisis can we expect young people to build momentum on a new movement when they don't know much about their past at all? And then I often reflect about my own past, coming from a child of this legacy. How can I live up to such an enormous dream, so to speak? I may not have worked on a production line, I haven't marched many picket lines, but my film production, my media is my activism. So I say, for all the youth out there that can contribute, be your own media outlet. Help us re-educate and retie our common thread. And I just have to say that also, we have a history of a nation responding from adversity. And so sadly, recently, those collective responses come after some sort of a terror act. But what I ask is, harness that collective compassion for this vital effort, for good jobs, for quality education and for the social justice fight. It is so important. And I just want to close by quoting one individual who I so wish could have been with us here today, and that's Senator Ted Kennedy. I had the good fortune to sit with Senator Kennedy for one of the final interviews of his life, and he said to me, Walter Reuther's vision was not a promise, it was a challenge. He challenged his members to participate in that union and to make a difference in people's lives. And so in that same spirit, I challenge you today. Own this struggle for jobs and justice, for it is the good and noble fight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sasha. At this time, we'd like to bring, well, let me just say this. The UAW, although pretty active here, we don't do it alone. There's lots of unions in this state, and we have great partners, and we get to work in concert with a lot of them. Leading our state AFL-CIO is a dynamic leader, Ms. Carla Swift. Carla?
Good afternoon, brothers and sisters. It is such an honor to be included here today with such an esteemed group of leaders. Reverend Anthony, thank you so much for taking the lead. Thank you to my home union, the UAW, for putting in the effort and the planning and the execution on this. And thank you to all of the other unions in the labor movement in Michigan for the work that you do. So I took a look back down Woodward as we were coming down, and it was a fantastic march, folks. We had an army of activists marching in Detroit today. And so we're here to celebrate this anniversary. It's a time to look back, reflect on how far we've come, but also to think about how far we have to go. You know, 50 years ago, Dr. King came and he delivered a speech, and he inspired a nation, he moved a nation, he and others in the movement. And a lot happened over the decades, but 50 years later, the dream is still not a reality. We have a lot of work to do, brothers and sisters. We know that the unemployment rate is still too high across the board, but it's multiplied in communities of color. And brothers and sisters, we know that one of the saddest stories about inequality is the story of infant mortality, where in Michigan is ranked 37th in the nation, and African American babies are 3 times more likely to die in the first year of life than white babies. These and many other things are not acceptable. It's not acceptable. So today is the opportunity for families and working people to come together and recommit ourselves to full civil rights and economic justice. Because while the dream is within view, we still have a long walk ahead. But we know we have an army of activists to take that walk. So let's commit today to getting on with our business of taking this walk together. Thank you very much.